All right, and we are back. We got a very special guest here. Actually another Daily Show writer, very incredible comedian, and fellow Blerd and gamer. Also, Mr. Roy Wood
What's
Jr.
happening?
What's
What's
good?
going on with y'all, man?
Man,
Going
kicking
good.
it. High as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the same over here, man. Just managing fatherhood and trying to pray this boy got to go to school every day. Get a damn email from the school every day about COVID shit. I'm like, oh Lord, don't let this be the one. You gotta stay home.
You trying to keep him out the house.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I'm like, look, you need to go get some germs.
Yeah, somewhere.
You can't be in this house all the time.
Strengthen your immune system. Go outside, cough.
Whatever it works, man. Whatever works, man. But that's it, man. I'm chilling, man.
All right. Like we previously mentioned, of course you got the special come out on Paramount Plus on well, actually tomorrow, January 19th.
Yeah, it's streaming now, man. Imperfect Messenger, man.
Streaming now.
Going on and bootleg that shit.
Oh, okay.
I'm on some of them bootleg sites, man.
Gave us your permission.
Yo, I don't know what it is, but I still go to bootleg sites just to see what's on there. Even though I got, like, with all this streaming shit, I got access to everything legit. But sometimes
So you don't mind people bootlegging your shit because you still bootleg shit.
I don't. It's karma, because
It's a circle of life.
yeah, because like I used to bootleg hard in them DVD days, 01, 02, you know, just a
Yep.
broke road comic, and then I fucked around and got a laptop with a DVD burner, burner, nigga. It
That's
was
when
a
they
wrap,
that's when
bro.
the world was over
It
with.
was a wrap, bro.
$5 a movie. That's what I used to
Dude.
do.
They used to come in the
And
barber
so-
shop and everything back in the day.
Yeah, and what you think I used to do? I used to go in the barber shop, and Buddy would give you 5 for 20, 5 a pop, or he would give you 5 for 20, and I would go and hit a lick, and then that's what I would watch all week on the road when I was doing comedy. And then when I started doing morning radio, and I was doing prank phone calls, cats was bootlegging the fuck out of my prank phone calls. And like not even just,
I believe
but
that.
not just the shit on CDs. Like they was taking Lucy's off the internet that I'd never even put on a project. I'm like, how'd you recorded this off the radio? But I couldn't get mad at it because it was opening my audience up. So you know,
That make you relevant.
yeah. So
That's how you know you somebody.
I ain't never been mad at it, man. You know, I just know that I'm at an age and a point in my career where I should probably be proud to pay $7.99, and I do. But every now and then, I just swing on over there just to see what y'all up to over here.
I know, and I didn't pay my Disney Plus bill 1 month, and I had to bootleg the rest of Captain America.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the rest of the Winter Soldier, and yeah, I had to bootleg the rest of that. And yeah,
Why you
I
admitting
ain't,
to
I ain't a
why you
stranger to
admitting
that.
to federal crimes on live, man? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
we were talking about old
Yeah,
stuff over
man.
here,
I
man.
did
We
not
can
know
talk-
what
Statute
you
of
were talking about,
limitations,
sir.
you know. I said
Allegedly.
01,
you a
your
snitch.
ass.
He's like 5 months ago.
I have a file on my desk. Let me screen share with y'all right now.
Type shit. Who else? Who you recording this conversation for, Eli? Like, what's going on?
So
My nigga. Fed.
speaking on the Daily Show, it's one of my favorite shows. I love political humor and stuff like that. So where do you get your inspiration from when you writing for shows like that? How do you get your inspiration and stuff?
Man, for me, the best pieces is it's kind of like stand-up where I want a topic that black folks will look at and go, that's what we've been trying to tell you. And then white folks look at it and go, wow, I didn't know that. And then finding the jokes that kind of sit in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about tackling black issues with satire, if I'm being honest, you know, black people, we're a very literal people. Like, especially when it comes to humor. Because we've been lied to for so much. Like, satire is like, I'm faking being this thing, but I'm really not. And the funny is that I'm pretending to, like, you can't do that with black folks. You got to tell the truth and find the humor within the truth. So that's the type of stuff that draws me. Like, one of the first pieces we did on the show, shit, I had to be here 2 months. Not even. It was the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. And so the motto of the 20th anniversary was justice or else. I don't know why I'm telling you niggas. You niggas know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, we know.
So why am I talking down to y'all like I'm talking to some white journalist?
It happens.
So
Man.
Yeah.
so all right, so so it's justice or else. So I go to Trevor and I go, yo man, I think white people are twisted on what justice or else means. So you don't have to show up to a black event and joke on black people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just show this is what we're doing. This is why we're here.
Yep.
And then you go to the white side of D.C. and go, yo, they marching across town for justice or else. What do you think or else means? Now, if you ask a black person what or else means, you already know. It's all upliftment. We going to fight and we going to vote, whatever. But then I'm going to ask white people. Yeah. I said, what do y'all think or else means? Violence or riots.
Yeah. That's what they think every time. Every
And
time.
so that's so I ain't got to do no work, bro. The joke is right there in the truth. The joke is just showing, they open the door for you. So it's just a matter of just showing what was already right there for everybody to see that was rooted in truth. Those are the pieces that I like the most, that I want to do the most. So, you got knick-knack stuff you got to do, and those stories are fine. But the stories that I really like look back on and go, yeah, that was one where I know no one else could have done. There's no other show on television with a person on their team who could have went and did what I did that day for that piece.
Yep.
And made it work.
And make it work. Because you're around black folks with a fucking camera, bro. That is dangerous. It's more dangerous than having a gun. A gun is less stressful to be on a block with a gun because they might have a gun too. So they ain't worried about a fucking gun. Guns don't talk. Cameras do.
You ever pull out your camera in front of like your hood homeboys like, don't be taking no pictures, bro. I don't want to see no pictures.
They don't need to see my face, cuz.
Yeah.
We was on the south side of Chicago, and I did a piece with some gang interrupters. And essentially, Ceasefire Nonviolence was the name of the organization. And the group is comprised of, a lot of former gang members. And they literally walk block to block every night and talk to all the crews to try and keep the peace between rival crews.
Yeah.
All they do is mediate bullshit up and down the block. And they're more respected than the cops. They're more respected than social workers. And I walk the block with them to watch them do what they do. Mm-hmm. And, Daily Show, it's huge. It's 2-3 cameras. You got a dude holding a boom mic. You got the little production assistant carrying water. It's too many fucking strangers on this block. Mm-hmm. So before we could walk down a block, the cats that we were walking with would go up the block to get the blessing of the niggas who ran that block for us to come up the block with the cameras.
Do be like
just to be able to tell our story. There's still ways you got to move through our spaces, even as a black. And I'm black. My daddy is a Chicago OG from back in the day, and I done went to a black college. We don't give a fuck. You ain't from this block. We don't know you.
You gotta check in.
So so the cats with Ceasefire, Stop the Violence would have to go up the block. Hey, this is who they are. They're with us. This is what we're doing. But we got a good piece out of it. And then you're able to put something on TV when motherfuckers love to turn around and say that black folks don't care about Chicago and that y'all ain't doing nothing about black on black crime. Because that's the first thing y'all love to say. So let's go do a piece that proves that that's not true.
The black folks, the ones who marching in every day to change Chicago, they the people who live there. So
there you go.
That's why I hate when people say that. They do a whole bunch of stuff about Chicago. So I hate when people say stuff like that, man.
Yeah, so those are the pieces I like, man. The ones that's rooted in some real shit that are where it's hard to find the jokes because those are the most rewarding ones.
Now, I have a stand-up question. I just got because I've seen both of your specials, Father Figure and the second one.
No One Loves You.
But I just had
No
One Loves You. I mean, I love the way like you set up your jokes. Like you'll have I'm seeing it where you have your setup and then the punchline, but you use that same punchline and turn it around and like at the end, and it'd be, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I try to
love
call
like
back.
the chicken nugget. Yeah, like the chicken nugget one.
Yeah.
The McDonald's chicken nugget one. Like I love how you do that. Like, is that something that you developed starting out, or is something that you had to grow into?
I
doing
kind
something
of grew
like that?
into it. I still think that Chris Rock is probably the best at callbacks because he only does them once. I kind of do them multiple times, like as a thread through. But Chris Rock will close with a fucking huge, like, and you just never saw it coming, and it just, like Bigger and Blacker, where he talks about the big piece of chicken, and he set that up 10 minutes in, and then like 50 minutes later calls it
Brought
back.
it back.
Dog, he's got, Chris Rock had a half-hour special before Bring the Pain called Chris Rock Big Ass Jokes. I'm not going to even spoil the punchline. It's a 30-minute special. If you can find that on HBO Max, or you find that, I'll send you the link to the bootleg site. Like, if you, there's a massive callback that he closes on that you just never see coming, and it's fucking magical. It, like, I don't know. It's fun to find ways to kind of play with words a little bit, but it's not something I write and I go, yeah, then I'm gonna put a callback. Each joke is created. Each joke is individually owned and operated, and then as you start putting the act together, you start recognizing places where, oh, I can make a mention of that here, and that would be funny again to say here, because it ties into the, you know, it's like like I did the bit in Father Figure about how good, because we can't tell, this is pre-Allied T-shirts and pussy hats and Black Lives Matter, but I did a joke about how you can't tell good white folks from the bad white folks, and that's part of the problem. That's why we don't trust white people, because y'all look, you know.
Yeah.
So we need a wristband. You know, there needs to be a wristband that white folks wear that they can just show black folks. So then that joke is alone by itself. But then as I'm building my act, and I start seeing places in my act where white people have done good things, and there was an act out, and it's unrelated to racism, it would just be cool in the middle of this joke if I just get this person a wristband.
See, when you hit it with the flight captain, like that moment, like that was brilliant. Like like it had me rolling, like, because he, you know, you set it up really well. You didn't know where it was going, but then you popped out the wristband thing. I was like, oh yeah. That's
the hard part is hiding callbacks, because at no point do I call the captain a white man. That's the other thing that I try to do, is I try not to say black or white unless I explicitly have to. Yeah. Otherwise, it's understood in the voices. Right. Because if I say white person, then you're on alert, because I said white person earlier when I said wristband. So is he going to do it again here? So people can sometimes see the punchlines coming, which I guess isn't always the worst thing in the world, but you'd rather be surprised.
Right. I know there's another method. I think it was on Rogan. I seen you talking about where when you're when you're working out your material, you go to two different environments to work out that material.
Yeah, you gotta see how the verbiage works. You know, I'll in New York, I'll just run it to test the theories of it, to just stress test it, and then I'll go to like mainstream rooms and just put the joke up just to see what middle America thinks of it, to make sure it's not to make sure I'm not out of touch with middle class. Then you go to black people to see how to perform it and how to enhance it. Because if it's funny to black folks, I already know everybody else gonna get in line. But I don't need to be going to a black audience testing the premise. Is this fun? No, I know it's funny. Now, how do I make sure this connects with us? Because that's the ultimate goal. So do I need to change this word? Do I need to pick up the tempo? Do I need to pause here? Maybe I'm explaining it too much. Because, you know, when you talk to black folks, there's a lot of stuff that's just unsaid that you don't have to say, because you ain't got to spoon feed certain parts of the joke to them. You know, like which is why, like, before I tape a special, I go to Peoria, Illinois, and then I go to Atlanta, Georgia, in that order. And then I tape the special.
Peoria, home.
Yeah, Peoria, Illinois. Yeah. Like, just it's the home of John Deere tractors. Literally, that's their corporate headquarters.
I was thinking Richard Pryor. But
He's
yours is
there
better.
too, but there's a lot more
Yeah.
broke white folks there.
Yeah.
Lawnmowers, line
Yeah.
lawnmowers, everywhere.
And
Park
it's,
like cars.
it's also a city where it's not a lot of rich people, bro. So you coming in here talking all that rich shit, motherfucker. I'm living check to check. Talk to me about some real shit that I can relate to that's going to connect. So that keeps you honest with middle America. And then black folks, you go talk to black folks to make sure that that delivery is on point. You know, and sometimes, and you tweak it along the way. You know, you do other black rooms, but Atlanta is like the last cherry on top. Let's make sure this is what I think it is.
Yeah.
Understand.
That's always one thing I wanted to like ask you personally about. You know, the way you're working out your material and the way you write it, because I always thought it was an interesting take that you. I mean, an interesting method that you do, and I mean, getting an inside look on is pretty dope. Like, I mean, from all of your specials and seeing what you do on the Daily Show, like your writing is something like. I don't know. I can't think of the word because if I use a big word, I'm using the wrong big word.
Nah, man, all
But,
I'm trying
I mean-
to do, bro, with everything I do, Daily Show, stand up, whatever, is take a topic everybody's been talking about and find an angle that nobody's talked about yet. That's it. So you just figure that out from just researching the issue. Watch a lot of interviews, see who's saying what on it, read all the comments, see what folks are already saying about it so you know the totality of the discussion. And then you're able to pick off the places where you can introduce something new, or you can present a whole new prism, you know, to the argument. You know, I have a bit in my new special, Imperfect Messenger, about the whole black, black Americans ain't fucking with black Brit actors playing famous niggas in movies or whatever. You know, like that's the thing.
Fucks my head up every time.
Yeah, why is it a British person playing Dr. King and Harriet Tubman?
How is he fucking doing the voice that goddamn good?
They good. They're
Then They just
good.
snap back.
That's what I was saying
Then
in the
they just
joke.
snap right back.
But
I'll be like, bruh, magic witch.
so the argument is the surface argument that has been had is our role should be played by our people. And then you get into, like, you can't even get into the ADOS of it because white folks would be, then you got to, like, explain. You know, it's like,
That's some hard explaining.
you see what I'm
right
saying?
there.
And so, but even within that joke, okay, you present this argument, should black Brits be allowed to play black Americans? And I could have that argument on stage, but the deeper discussion is, the deeper truth is that why are we mad about it as black Americans? And it comes from a level of distrust and not knowing shit about black Brits because we don't know your pain. And if I don't know your pain as a people, I don't trust you to portray my pain on camera. Like that's, I don't feel like you've walked that walk. And the argument I'm making in the premise of the bit in the special is that if we knew more of their pain, we wouldn't have these discussions as often. But we don't know shit about foreign racism because they don't teach us that shit.
No,
They still
everything
teach
is
you-
America centric in America. Yeah, you're right.
And so, and I say, and I literally verbatim in the special, I say, we just started talking about Tulsa, and that happened around the corner.
Right.
So we still covering American racism, and nigga, they trying to take that shit out the history books.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you don't know shit about whatever the fuck black Brits done been through and went through in the you know what I mean? And that doesn't necessarily make it a foolproof argument for Idris Elba being whoever the fuck, David Oyelowo, but it is a new angle to the conversation to consider. Because when you look at Africans, we don't jump bad at Africans the way we do black Brits. There's a definite argument between black Americans and Africans, but that's rooted in Africans being arrogant or being portrayed as arrogant. But part of why Africans are fucking arrogant is because the only thing we know about them is that they fucking poor and they war torn. And we know that's a lie because we know if you point a camera at the real shit that's happening in Africa, it ain't all dirt and pot bellies.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're poisoned by our own
Wakanda
media
cities.
to think they're one way, so they come over here and overcompensate in how they relate. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
so
Most
that's
of
the
it was college.
spine. That's the spine of the thought, and then I have to go. All right, how do I make that funny? Because it ain't a fucking lecture. I ain't fucking Killer Mike. I ain't Dr. Umar. I don't know how to articulate shit the way them niggas do. All I got is jokes. So how do I take this angle of an issue that at the surface is should they or shouldn't they? I don't want to have that conversation in my jokes. Let's talk deeper about why we're even pissed in the first place. And then you can choose to agree or disagree. But if I make you laugh, at minimum, I've done my job. And that's the thing I always respect about George Carlin and Chris Rock is that they could get you to laugh even if you didn't agree with them. You know,
Especially Carlin. Oh
to
my
me,
gosh.
one of Chris Rock's greatest lines of any special is when he tells the audience, boo if you won't, but you know I'm right. Like telling the audience, I don't give a fuck if you disagree with me. You know, like that. To me, that's where my head goes on a lot of this shit, man.
Well, let's get into some Blerd talk because because a lot of going back to your jokes a little bit, you got a couple of superhero based jokes. Like I love the one where Luke Cage, he can't save the world because he's too busy saving queens.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, black
what's
superheroes
up?
have
So-
to focus on their hood. Luke Cage, a 20-episode series, that nigga never left Harlem. He went to
all.
Midtown once to help Daredevil.
The hood needed him. But nah, random segue. I got my bad next.
Oh no, yeah,
Random
go ahead.
question.
I've asked enough.
I had to let you get your comedian talk out the way.
Go ahead.
Off top of the head, who is your most trash superhero? Go.
I was about to ask the opposite of that. But yeah,
I know. That's why I was like, nah, I'm gonna fuck him up with this.
I mean,
He just asked, like, why is he here?
well,
The middle Brady Bunch system.
my fave is Wolverine, so that's just a quick answer. But Hawkeye is pretty useless.
Thank you.
I
Oh
know-
my god.
I know that I want to say Black Widow, but I don't want to get canceled.
we've already said it multiple
put it
times on
this
the
way.
show.
Oh, we
she
trashed that
she
movie.
wouldn't be the first one I choose. like if the danger is like the portal opens and niggas is coming through the portal to fuck shit up, and they go, Roy, you can call any two superheroes. I would not call Black Widow.
True. You ain't never lied.
That's like calling the police, basically. You'd be better off calling. You better off calling the DPD
I
or
tell you the
something.
superpower I always wanted to be Nightcrawler. That was the one I used to imitate growing up. I used to pretend that I could teleport across the room, and I would like make the sound as I like across the room and
You ain't
shit.
shit.
Yeah, man, Hawkeye is a second teamer for sure. Like he's
Like, when
not
they was-
high on my depth chart.
When they was making the movies,
Who do
I
you
don't know
think
what
is
made them
feeling
say.
ass on DC side?
When they were making the movies, I don't know what made them say, let's put Hawkeye and Black Widow in the main Avengers. I don't understand. Don't understand.
They
Hawkeye is only
they
a good-
were
only a
for
super-
a minute. till niggas
Hawkeye
died.
main superpower is not just the arrows; it's just he has to be able to hide good.
Nah, you want to know his most powerful superpower of all? He got heart.
He got heart. He got to
So
hide
does
good.
fucking Rocky Balboa. You wouldn't choose Rocky to stop niggas coming through a portal.
True.
Yeah.
Rocky
Last person.
Rocky gonna square up.
I'll take you down, Thanos. Let's go.
Like a rip to me.
I would say Cyborg, but ever since that Josh Whedon shit came out,
Oh, man.
where he like
We just talked about
he
We were just talking
trashed
about
that
that,
nigga's acting, and I feel bad now because it's like, all right, was it the script? Was it the act? Because if a director doesn't believe in an actor, then they will sometimes give them bad direction, or not give the actor corrections to make the scene better.
Better.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, all right, Cyborg
Slightly sabotage.
Cyborg is like the Punisher. and I'm an old nigga. I'm 43, so I remember the Dolph Lundgren Punisher with Lou Gossett Jr. from the 80s.
Dang.
The OG.
I saw that bitch once,
I don't think I ever seen that.
You would.
and it was on a VHS.
I'll give you the bootleg link later. I think it's on the list. There's
2 for 2.
that Punisher was terrible to me. Like, even not knowing the comic books as a kid, it didn't quite connect. But I didn't completely write the character off. And I felt like what they did with Thomas Jane was fine. I didn't buy Travolta as the villain in that version of the Punisher. I mean, Bernthal, I mean, that's the most visceral and real part. Like, that was like some Christian Bale Batman level.
Yeah, he was just turned to the max, like hella cocaine. They just sniffed
Yeah.
cocaine. Like, we redoing Punisher.
So the problem now is that if you go back and watch the Dolph Lundgren Punisher from the 80s, it's like going from cocaine to sniffing super glue. Like, it's just not going to hit. It ain't going to hit the same. But my point is with Cyborg, I think the Cyborg character deserves another at bat. Hopefully with that same brother back
He
in
was.
the suit.
The
Yeah.
stuff that Josh Whedon was saying,
It
I
was
just didn't
alright.
understand at all, man.
Yeah, the suit
What-
was just killing it
What-
for me in general. Like, that
Well, 'cause
shit
this-
gave me a stroke.
Like, my theory was because Ray Fisher was saying it was Josh Whedon was like he was being racist toward him.
Correct. And I got to side with the
Yeah.
brother on that. I just
Yeah,
you can't.
yeah,
Ain't
most
even a
definitely.
question.
And it sounded like Josh Whedon-
especially when you see how it went.
And it sounded like Josh Whedon's like, nah, I wasn't being racist. He's just not a good actor.
It's,
Like,
it's highly believable.
And it's hard to say which one is true, and that's why that whole thing got to be a push. Now, I tell you the OG shit about the old Punisher that I appreciated. He had a line at the end of the movie that's like a top 10 gangster-ass movie line. He kills the mobster, or whoever the fuck the bad guy is, right? He kills him, right?
Right?
And then the mobster's son walks in the room and sees his dead father's body on the ground. Kid's like 9 or 10. And he's looking at his dead father. And he looks up at the Punisher all angry. But he know he 10. He bitch nigga. He can't do shit.
I can't do shit.
You can't fade me. So what the fuck you got?
Little ass nigga.
So Punisher squats down. Looks this little motherfucker in the eyes. He goes, "You're a good boy. And I hope you grow up to be a good man. But if you don't, I'll be waiting." And then a fucking guitar riff, and then they cut to the Punisher riding a motorcycle in the sewer.
It's so 80s.
That's the most gangster
Yeah,
thing ever.
yeah, it's such an 80s line, but like,
Yeah.
that's some wild shit to kill a nigga's daddy in front of him, then just go, "Nigga, you next if you want to jump up. I'll be waiting on
I
you."
swear to God, you better go to college and live a great life, nigga, or else.
Yeah, it's
Get a ticket.
it's totally
Get a ticket.
80s. It's totally 80s, but at the time, that was I was like, yeah, man, Dolph Lundgren. You also got to remember, this is Dolph Lundgren.
It's like prime Dolph
Fuck,
Lundgren,
is this before or after Rocky 4? It's in the same.
right?
That was before.
Yeah, it's got to be well before.
Rocky 4 came out in the 90s, early, like 90,
I say that was
like
like
90.
5-6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was late 80s.
Yeah, because there was. Fuck, he did. I'm trying to think when Universal Soldier came out.
That was like 92. Nah, that was like 91.
Yeah, The Punisher, 1989,
Universal Soldier,
92.
92.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's
Rocky 4 came out first. Yeah. Rocky 4
really?
in 85, and then The Punisher in 89. Yo, this nigga had a run, bro. Rocky 4,
Yeah.
he played He-Man and Masters of the Universe,
Yep.
Red Scorpion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Then he was the Punisher.
out here.
He was the Rock without charisma.
He was the boulder.
The bold. But also in that era though, he was going up against Arnold Schwarzenegger for all the muscle movies.
Superstar. Yep.
Yeah, and Arnold Arnold was just going to get everything. Arnold was just the man. He had way more charisma than him.
He was making money off the worst movie concepts I ever heard of in my life, but they was working though.
Oh, killer.
Last Action Hero is the greatest, most underrated Arnold Schwarzenegger movie ever done. He parodied the fuck out himself right there and made it work.
I need to go watch that. True Lies is still my joint.
True Lies.
The crazy thing though is that the 80s was so prime for video games based on movies because the premises were so straightforward and like none of them work. I don't what y'all Blerds, let me ask y'all a question. What do you think is worse? Video games based on movies or movies based on video games?
Movies based on video games ain't even close.
All right, that's fucked
Yeah,
up.
movies based on video games
Yeah,
are awful.
It is
Because
awful.
I can name a couple video game adaptations of like movies that were better than the actual movie. So yeah, but a movie never actually hit. The movie never gonna hit.
Battleship is probably
That's
the
when you
worst.
know Jesus coming back.
Like,
Oh,
granted,
you
that
talking
was a
Battleship with
board
Rihanna?
game. Now, granted, that's a board
Oh my
game.
god!
No, don't put that
Why
on.
would we? It was a board game.
I forgot that.
Don't
movie.
put that on Rihanna. That
Hey,
wasn't her
Clue
fault.
is still the greatest board game movies ever.
That's fair.
They made a.
They
made a
made
clue.
that shit work
Yeah.
and gave that bitch 3 alternate endings before they made alternate endings.
Yeah, that's it. That one's good enough. It's basically Knives Out, same energy.
Yeah, true.
Like they could,
Before it was
Knives Out before Knives Out. Wing Commander was pretty terrible as a video game, as a movie based on a video game.
I still act like the Super Mario Brothers movie never existed.
Come on, dog. Even John Leguizamo
I love
act
that.
like it
I
didn't
love that
exist.
I hate it so much. It's like I hate to watch it. It's like I hate to love that movie so much. It's one of them.
But see,
It's like I know this shit bad, but
but see, even in knowing
you gotta
that,
keep watching.
I think both genres are generally more missed than hit. But there's part of me that still wouldn't mind a Zelda or a Metroid. Especially a Metroid. I wouldn't, but like, try it. That's a legacy title. Would you rather that?
have to
Samus
be
is a
serious.
tough
I
one.
think Zelda will work better.
And it's kinda-
Zelda will work better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel,
Yeah.
honestly, on some spacey shit, you know, we done seen all these alien movies and shit.
Resident Evil
if
works
Samus
okay.
was an alien covenant, shit would have been different.
Resident Evil works okay.
It
I
did
think
at first. I don't know about
Metroid
now.
would work. Metroid would work as a movie, and Legend of Zelda would probably work better as a series.
Some Apple Plus shit. That's got Apple Plus vibes.
On Netflix, like with The Witcher or something, yeah, it could work like that.
It'd be tough to live action adaptate Zelda. To me personally, it'd be
Yeah.
tough.
I don't know.
So, you're a big Marvel fan. We can already tell. So, what do you think of Marvel's most recent slate this past year
I
with
haven't
all the
seen
shows
most of
and the
it yet,
movies
man.
and
I only
stuff?
seen 10 Rings. I got to go back and grab Black Widow. I know everybody's saying don't bother, but I'm a purist. So
See, I feel you.
I need
You just
to
gotta watch it to know.
gotta see them all. The only Marvel films I never watched was Thor. I think I watched
Which one?
the first Thor. I didn't see the other two. Ragnarok and Rockin' in Las Vegas or whatever the fuck the third one's gonna be.
Rocking and lost.
Ragnarok is
Rock
probably the
around
best
the
one.
Ragnarok
out of the-
around the world. What do you call it? I don't know.
And it, and it's good you don't remember the second one name because that movie was
Yeah,
terrible.
just that bitch.
They say Ragnarok is good. I'll go back and watch it.
Ragnarok was straight.
I need to see Eternals. I haven't seen any of the Marvel TV series, and everybody keeps saying that WandaVision is amazing. And they say I want to see Falcon and Winter Soldier because I think Anthony Mackie's a solid dude,
He did his shit.
That's a good one right there. Falcon.
and he's back. He's back as Cap for the theatrical run
Yeah.
too. So good for him, man. So he'll eat good.
It's like
With
the
the big chest.
series make more sense in the bigger picture than the actual movies. Besides Spider-Man,
Yeah, it's more money in that. It's more money in the series. I'll knock out Spider-Man. Probably, I'm planning this weekend, but I want to see Eternals and the other shit before I fuck with Spider-Man.
Before we get you on out of here, we don't want to take
Yeah.
too much of your time. Can we get a little info on what your special's about, man? Can you tell the audience about your special?
Man, Imperfect Messenger is streaming now on Paramount Plus. and we talked about everything from race to Meghan Markle, to prison reform. Like, I just took stuff that you shouldn't be laughing at and tried to figure out a way to make some of that shit funny. And shout out,
That's usually the best
Yeah.
one.
You know, we got black folks got to laugh through the pain. You know how I go.
and I tried to bring
I
it
heard
full
that joke.
circle from that first special and acknowledge the fact that white people got shirts now. It's a convenient time to be an ally. You know, you can just buy a shirt, let
Saying,
motherfuckers know where you stand. Back in the day, you just had to smile at niggas and hope that they figured it out.
Do not get it together, man.
But yeah, that's all it is, man. You can watch it on Paramount Plus. It might still be streaming on ComedyCentral.com, but we'll see.
Good shit.
Okay, and we appreciate you
Man,
for
I
joining
appreciate
us.
y'all for
This is
fucking
an
with
honor.
me, man. I'm sorry it took me
This
so
our-
long to
this
get
our,
on the
like,
line,
first-
man.
This our first super big ass interview of the year, so shit, it's straight up from here, nigga.
Well, there it is, man. Well, y'all have a...
And you're our second Daily Show writer.
Right? On some shit.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. Damn.
Yeah, it's a lot of blerds in the building.
Yeah, nigga.
Yeah,
We
man.
gotta stick together.
Well-
Before we cut it out, can we tell the people where they can find you? Social media and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
at Roy Wood Jr. is my name. Put an at sign in front of it, put a .com behind it. If you can't figure that out, you stupid, and I don't want to talk to you. I ain't fucking with dumb people. I ain't got no time for that shit,
You
man.
heard him.
So, Roy Wood
All right,
Jr.,
everybody, that's Roy Wood
man.
Jr.
And I appreciate y'all. man.
Make sure y'all check out his special,
We appreciate
Imperfect
having
Messenger
you, brother.
on Paramount Plus. That's
Yeah, man.
I butchered that.
All right, man. It's
happens,
all
man.
love, man.